Yo, what's going on? It's your main man Rick the Dawn, and today we're talking about Zion Williamson. We're talking about Halle Berry and her proposal. We're talking about Trump versus Elon. We're talking about Lil Wayne's The Carter 6. Yeah, you don't want to miss that. But before we jump into that, please check out my clothing line, Broken Heart Shirts. You can reach it by going to bhshirts.com and check out my new shoe, the Don Don 1. You can see this bad boy at aliveshoes.com/Don Don 1. All right, let's start off with Zion Williamson. So he is back in the headlines because a young lady he was dating since college has reportedly claimed, or she claims rape. She said that he's been abusive and physically abusive and has raped her and things of that nature. It's very important to note that this relationship started when he was in college. It's also important to note that she is wealthy, or she comes from a wealthy family. And I'm just over it, man, because if Zion Williamson did any of this stuff, the very first thing she should have done was go to the police. But she didn't. You want to know why? Because this is clearly a cash grab, and we have to stop allowing this to happen. I hope it hasn't been getting through. I hope that the judges that we have in this modern era is able to see what's going on. I hope they've caught on to this culture. I don't care what the stipulations are, because this is clearly a cash grab. We did get some details about what happened. She's saying that the relationship has lasted 5 years, and that as far as what she's alleging stems from the fact that, he's forced her to have sex. Like, she said something to the effect of, he asked her for sex, she said no. He grabbed her, tied her hands up, or physically bound her with her hands behind her back, and then had sex with her, forced her to have sex with him. She said that there was some name calling. He called her a stuck up B word, and things of that nature. A B word, stuck up, that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, that doesn't warrant a cash, like, that doesn't reward, that does not warrant money. That kind of stuff happens in relationships. If you're with somebody for 5 years, and you're a woman, there's a strong chance that you're gonna have sex with your partner without wanting to. As a man, I've had sex with partners without wanting to. Let's be realistic. So come on, man. I mean, the things that she's alleging are just not enough to move the meter. And I think it's really unfortunate, because you have real women really being abused and really being raped. And now you have people taking advantage of the system. They're exploiting the system. And it's really hurtful to the people that really need it. I mean, come on. Tying your girl hands up, calling her stuck up B word. I did more than that last night. I grabbed her neck, slapped her, had her legs over her head. Like, come on, man. This is BS. I did more than that last night. You know what I'm saying? And she liked it. And my thing is this. If any of this stuff is true, why is it always civil? I think if I was a judge, the minute I see one of these things come down the pike, my first question is this: why did you not go to the authorities? If the answer doesn't make sense, I'm throwing the case out next. That's what I'm doing. And you know what will get rid of this culture? And I hope that Zion Williamson figures this out sooner than later. All you have to do, and I want everybody to, listen up. All you have to do when someone is making something like this up and trying to get you in court is called, wait for it, a countersuit. If you just do a countersuit for all this BS, that'll shut all this down. They said that the young lady that's making this accusation, she comes from a well-to-do family. Voila, Zion, go get your money, big dog. It's called a countersuit. And if, and what you're going to countersuit for is defamation of character. Defamation of character, easy. That's easy money. And this will stop this culture, because a lot of times these lawyers, these little quick money grab lawyers, are taking these cases for free. So when you do a countersuit, it's like, oh snap, now I have to do two jobs. You have to prove that your client was abused, and now you have to defend her or defend him. So that's two jobs. And trust me, lawyers do not like to work for free. All right, so they're already doing it, but they're doing it because they believe that they're going to get this big cash payout. But when you do a countersuit, it puts the pressure back on them, and now they have to actually do lawyer and legal work. And this will absolutely eradicate this error. This is what Smokey Robinson and his wife did. They were accused of all this stuff from their maids. And the minute Smokey Robinson did a countersuit, and he did it the right way, he countersued his maids. I think it was like maybe 5 of them. He countersued them for like 100 million or 20 million, something like that. It's between 20 and 100 million. That is how you do it. And that's going to make them fall back. You know what? Just throw it out, because we don't want that kind of problem. But you are a goofball if you think you're going to, if you do what Diddy did, for example, which is, what do they call it when you just, if you just settle one of these civil suits, you're done, because it's almost like you're admitting to guilt. I mean, you saw this in the Michael Jackson trials. When he settled, it was done. It's like, okay, it's open season. He won't even challenge us. We're going to go ahead and just make up these accusations. I'm going to send my kid to his house just to... It was open season on Michael Jackson the minute he settled. If he would have countersued it, all this stuff would have been done. He'd probably still be alive. We got to stop this, man. It's ridiculous. Next is Halle Berry. Now, her current boyfriend, Van Hunt, proposed to her. And she did not say no, but she also did not say yes. Okay. And I want to just get this out the way. I want to be very, very clear. I want to first off say I respect everybody. I respect Van Hunt. And I did a little research on him. He's a songwriter. Okay. A little research. But let's be very clear. And I don't want to make any accusations. I'm not going to be irresponsible. But Halle Berry should absolutely not marry Van Hunt. This is her 4th serious relationship. Who was her first guy? Somebody Martinez or something like that. Oliver Martinez, I think it was her first marriage. Her second marriage was Eric Benet. And then her third marriage was, I forget the guy's name, Justin something, I don't know. But nevertheless, the last one hurt because he is currently getting matrimony or spousal support. He's making bucks, or what is it? Child support. Look, Halle Berry, you're a beautiful woman. I think at this point, the whole marriage concept, just throw it out. And I felt like in some ways it was a little manipulation on the part of Van Hunt. Look, I'm not saying he doesn't love Halle Berry. What I'm saying is, if you are the guy that's coming in after Justin, I think his name was Justin, I'm not sure. But if you're the boyfriend or the husband or the guy coming in after Justin, knowing that she was in the tabloids, she was, number one news because of her having to pay him spousal support or child support. If you're the guy coming in after that, you already know you're under deep suspicion. And at the very least, give her like 10 years, 5 years. Now, I would put it like this. If I am the 4th boyfriend, I'm saying to myself, look, I don't want her to think that I'm only in this to, replicate the actions of the guy who went before me, who's now being financially supported without having to even be with Halle Berry, right? So he gets the credit of actually sleeping with Halle Berry, which is a huge plaque on the wall. Then he's getting he's being supported. That's crazy. That's like crazy work out there in the streets. So if I'm the guy coming in after that, I'm saying to myself, look, I really love Halle Berry. I'm not going to even ask this until we've been together for like 7 to 10 years. If I'm not mistaken, Van Hunt, that relationship is still pretty new. And the fact that he's trying to marry her this soon, to me, is a red flag. And I hope that Halle Berry just pushes back on this. Now, what she could do is what Michael Jordan did. What she could do is say, listen, we can get married, but I'm going to put stipulations in the contract. Now, I'm not sure where she stands on this, but she should absolutely not get married without a prenup. She should definitely stop having kids by this point, because I think the last guy, he's getting like child support, something weird like that. It's something, I didn't even do research on it because it's so ridiculous. But it's like, look, we're going to put all these stipulations in. Michael Jordan says, look, I'll give you $5 million a year for every year you're married with me. Basically trying to remove the incentive to divorce him. And by the way, that's not a good incentive because Michael Jordan's worth billions. So what is $5 million? It's like offering somebody 5 cents, not to sue you for 1,000. So look, I would say, look, I love you too, but I'm good on marriage right now. Or you have to put something in writing or something legally binding stating that if we are to go the way of the dodo bird, you get nothing, or already lock in an amount. No matter what happens, whether we have children or whether we divorce or whatever the case might be, you only stand to make about $1 million. But the problem with that is a good lawyer can find legal loopholes and all this stuff. And that's why I would say she should just say no to the whole marriage concept by this point. I feel like if this was her first time or first rodeo, go for it. But by this being the 4th one and the 3rd one going the way it did, at this point, she has to consider everybody, I don't want to say an enemy or a predator, but she has to be more cautious. And let's be very clear. I tried to find the net worth of Van Hunt. It is not listed. You know what that means? That means he make about as much as Rick Adon does. Okay, that means that he's not touching what her net worth is, which is $90 million. He's not touching numbers like that. And with that being the case, she has to say no. You have to, because I think when it's love involved, you have these glasses on. You're not looking at everything from a financial standpoint even. Look, that's not it. That's not it. I'm married to a woman that makes more than me. Like I'll fully state it. She makes more than me. And it took a long time for her to realize, like, hey, he's not really after anything but my heart. And trust me, if my wife made 90 million or she was worth 90 million, I don't know, man. I might have to go ahead and divorce her real quick. I'm sorry. That's a joke, by the way. So look, next, Trump and your main man, Elon Musk, are having at it. We got people celebrating all over the world. They are happy to see that these two are disrespecting each other publicly. And I got to say it, white people, y'all look real bad right now. Welcome to, come on in. Y'all come on in, sit down. Come join me. All right, come join me as we sit back and watch our culture and our race destroy our reputation. Hey, look, because this was not supposed to happen. I don't care. Look, I'm a great chess player. I love to see, or I like to think that I can find the loopholes when people are trying to put on a front. Like maybe this is just a front to keep your attention here while this is going on, while that is going on. No, this is real bitterness. And we know that because Donald Trump is not one of those people, right? He's not going to fake dislike you. He's either he like you, he don't. What happened was, this is basically a girlfriend, boyfriend thing. And I hate to say it that way because that's what this is. Elon and Trump were singing each other's praises. They were like a couple, for crying out loud. And that was the fault of Trump. Right? Trump allowed Elon to feel way more important than what he was. But I know why Elon felt that way, because at the end of the day, we're being very transparent here because that's the platform I want to create. We're going to be transparent here. The reason that Trump got reelected is because of Elon. Elon was doing something. And he even let it spill because he messy. Like I said, like a girlfriend-boyfriend situation. He messy because he let it slip. He said the only reason that Trump got reelected is because of me. Now, you go ahead and try to explain that. How does a car manufacturer get a president elected? All right, he was pulling some strings. He was doing some things. He was using his platform, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. He was using his platform to, do something manipulative to allow Trump to get in. And then once Trump get in, you saw what happened. A lot of love was given. A lot of that was front loaded. It was like, yo, what is this new Trump-Elon relationship? Why is it so prominent? Why are they always together and things of that nature? And I'm going to tell you what it was. It was like, hey, you just got me into the White House. Whatever you want, you got it. But like all relationships, they go sour. And it reminds me of one of my favorite Bible verses. Favor is deceitful. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't chase people's because I know it's deceitful. They'll like you 1 minute, they won't like you the next minute, and it'll all be because you didn't say hello 2 seconds sooner than you did. And when you're talking about situations of that magnitude, you just gotta go in knowing that people are frivolous. They're 1 minute, they're not the next, for their own reasons that you can't necessarily understand. With that being said, Trump got in because of Elon. He said that, not me. Trump owed Elon a lot of favors, so he gave him Doge and he let Elon go crazy. But unfortunately, Elon went too crazy. He was supposed to make subtle moves. It's like chess, not checkers. Elon can't be a chess player. He can't be. He got that power and started making these over-the-top decisions, getting people fired. And you can't do that because Trump is beloved by so many. But I even saw instances where people who love Trump, I'm talking about they got the Trump flag outside their house, even they were upset with Trump over Elon's decisions because these people thought that they were bulletproof, mostly Caucasian Americans. They thought that they were bulletproof with Trump in the White House, but then they end up losing their job. They get these pink slips and they feel ultimately extremely betrayed. And the truth of the matter is, most likely Trump doesn't want these things to take place, but it's Elon that's making these decisions. And it's like being with a friend that's just going crazy. Everything they do, you're guilty by association. So Trump had to silently start to, push Elon away. And we saw it happen that one time when Trump was basically saying, hey, Elon, he's done what he has to do. He's going to get back to making cars. And it all really went down when Elon did that stupid Nazi salute at the inauguration. If I'm not mistaken, that's what it was. When he did that, it turned every black person against both Trump and Elon for the most part. Even if you are a black Trump supporter, seeing that had to rub you the wrong way. Like, for example, me. I actually like Donald Trump. before and after the Nazi salute. But I will tell you, I did say to myself, like, here we go. It's all good. It's all good. But here we go. Right? And as far as Tesla owners, man, every Cybertruck I saw after that Nazi salute, I like, look at that big ass rectangle you driving. It was all negative vibes for me. It was all negative vibes for me because I said, you know what? Here we go. It's that bullcrap. So you saw Trump start to be the businessman that we know he is. He starts to distance himself ever so slightly, but he's trying to keep it politically nice. He's trying to play nice with Elon, but Elon is not that kind of person. He's one of the richest people in the world. And that means one thing, his ego is astronomical, right? And now you see it. Now it's going real bad. You got Elon tying Trump to the Epstein files. He's saying the reason that the files did not come out is because Trump is in those files. Like, for a while, Elon Musk was saying he was going to expose the files on X. Yeah, I'm about to put them out. I'm about to put them out. And the reason, according to Elon, the reason he has not put those files out is because your main man Trump has been to Epstein Island. I mean, seriously, who is surprised by that? Like, seriously, come on. Epstein offered a service where he allowed or flew rich people to an island, which gave them all the sex that they could possibly want. Now, what a lot of celebrities probably did not know is the manner in which Epstein was providing these services. I'm not going to sit here and say that I 100% believe that these celebrities knew all the inner workings of how this all worked. And the reason I know that is because one of my favorite comedians, Chris Tucker, was seen on that island. And he is a devout Christian and all that. But I do also know that Chris Tucker loves women. All right. I saw one of his girlfriends back in the day. She was from Africa. I said, wow. He has the same type as me. And if that's true, yeah, he probably wants some sex. Because that woman you couldn't tell me he was with her for her personality. You wouldn't make me believe that. But I would say that if you were a celebrity, that Epstein thing was just all bad. You thought that it was like this little legal thing where you can just kind of get away. Like, going to a private island is not a big flex for a rich person. So like, hey, I'm just going to a private island. Like, me and you being flown to a private island be a little suspicious. But if you're rich, you're used to that. And then when you get there, you got a guy who's kind of cool and he's like, yo, man, check out my flock of women, man. You can pick like, that seemed like that's homeboy vibes. But I'm not sure that any of these people, or not many of them, would participate if they knew, like, hey, these women have been captured and they've been drugged. Like, I don't know if people like Chris Tucker would have necessarily. I mean, that's just alleged. That's my opinion. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe he would. I don't know. But the point is, I don't know. That'd be surprising. That'd be surprising to me. But yeah, it's all out there now. And Trump kind of fired back saying, look, Elon is tripping because he's mad about this mandate. I removed something from a mandate that I got approved. And one of the things, if I'm not mistaken, what he removed was this mandate that Elon wanted basically to make EV cars this bigger thing than what it already is, almost forcing the EV cars on everybody. And Trump is, man, I love Trump. I'm sorry. You can't get me to hate him. I think that Trump is an amazing president. He's the perfect president. I do dislike the people that he incites. I don't like the people that he galvanizes and makes feel empowered. But you remove these goofy Klansmen, Trump is pretty dope. All right, he's pretty dope for everybody. And I don't know why these Klansmen, these racist people, even care so much about Trump. Like, Trump is a black president. I don't know if y'all realize that. Like, the dude just got Larry Hoover's sentence commuted. You big goofy. Like, you know who Larry Hoover is? Like, anybody who's getting Lil Wayne, Kodak Black, Larry Hoover, Harry O, getting them out of jail, like, yo, he's not a white person. I'm sorry, not the traditional one. Definitely not the one that your grandfather used to like or be a part of, associated with. No, he ain't one of those. He one of these new white people that we like. I like him. So he's getting people like that commuted. Now, I'm not saying he's commuting the sentences of even more Caucasian Americans, but what I am saying is this: the people he getting out of jail means that Trump is pretty much a OG out here in these streets. And I'm not sure why y'all don't like. The writing's on the wall. Like, Trump is not. He's not a racist. I don't know how you could be a racist and let Harry O out of jail. I don't know if that works. That don't make sense to me. But no, so Trump kind of kicked back and said, look, Elon is tripping because he wants this stuff in this mandate that pretty much forces electric vehicles on everybody. And I think Elon will kick back or he pushed back and said, look, it's not about that. It's about giving people who do have electric cars some money back. Or I think at the end of the year, everybody who has an electric vehicle gets some kind of kickback financially. And I think Elon, and this is just speculation. I didn't do any deep research on this, but I think Elon wants to increase that amount, perhaps something to that effect. And Trump is like, look, I don't want to focus on electric cars because we already know Trump is against a lot of stuff, like, mandates or anything that forces people to do stuff, because he doesn't like the idea of being forced to do stuff. He's been privileged for so many years. He doesn't want to be forced to take a vaccine or anything of that nature. So he's pushing back on all this stuff. All right, and that's what's going on. But what is the final verdict on this? Trump needs to get out of the Elon bushes, if you will. He should have never got that close to that guy because Elon is so eccentric. He's weird. You know what I'm saying? So like any guy who would do a Nazi salute on a public stage that big is not a smart person. All right, he's inherited a lot. I don't know any smart person who would do that necessarily. Okay, I don't think that's a smart decision. And you have to get away. We all have friends that just made bad decisions, and we had to start to get away from them because they're gonna get you locked up. And that's what Trump got to start thinking about. You get away from Elon. He's problematic. I like that word. Elon is problematic. All right, check it. Next, we're going to talk about Lil Wayne. He just dropped the Carter 6. I don't know why people were surprised. I've been trying to tell people, look, Lil Wayne is a Satanist. That's why he dropped this stupid album on June 6th, right? Think about it. June is the 6th month of the year. He dropped it on June 6th. That's 2 6s. And it's the Carter 6. That's 3 6s. That's 6 and 3 score. So clearly Lil Wayne is just, nothing makes me happier than to see the double fail. All right, and nothing, or his henchmen, or the people he's employed to do work for him. Nothing makes me happier than to see the double or his little lackeys fail. And that's exactly what happened to the Carter 6, right? It came out, people were expecting the Carter 2, the Carter 3, and they got the exact opposite. You got memes all over the internet. I'm not sure if you've seen them, but you got people talking about he sounded like Jordan in the Wizard years, which I think is very disrespectful to Jordan because Jordan was still good in the Wizard years. But according to most people, this album is not even that. Okay. Now, I don't know how many tracks are on it. I think I heard the number 19 or 20, something to that effect. And even the biggest Wayne supporters are saying there's a maximum of 6 good songs on this 19 to 20 song album. And there are some people saying it's not even that. Some people are saying 4. Some people are saying only 6 minutes of the entire 19 to 20 tracked album is good. And I said to myself, hey, this is what happens when you use ghostwriters. Look, I've been trying to tell people for a long time, Lil Wayne is not what you think he is. He is a great kid, great person. He is a very intelligent person. He's a genius. He's smart. He's creative. He has the greatest voice of all time. I'm on record of saying that. But one thing he is not the greatest of all time. He is not even, if you're talking to me, Lil Wayne is not even like in the top 15 for me. Because he has ghostwriters. When you have ghostwriters, that immediately removes you from any realistic hip hop kingpin conversations. Period. And I still believe that the whole Carter series is written by Jay-Z. It's just my personal opinion. There's no evidence out there to support this, but I got to put it out there because Lil Wayne's rap style changed when he moved to New York. There was an article in Vibe. I'll never forget it. Wayne moved to New York and everybody was kind of confused. Like, yo, why are you moving to New York for? And the explanation they gave was his star was rising and he needs access to a bigger audience. And it's just more music stuff or music related stuff going on in New York than New Orleans at the time. And that's also around the time where Birdman was allegedly meeting with Jay-Z for the rights to Lil Wayne. I think that was the cover. That was just the shield. But what was happening behind doors, this is my opinion, no factual stuff here. What was happening behind the doors was Birdman was meeting with Jay-Z as, hey, we want you to write for Lil Wayne. And that's also around the time that Lil Wayne dropped his Carter series. The Carter, think about it. Dwayne Carter, Sean Carter, the Carter. It's basically, if I'm right and I'm not wrong, if Jay-Z actually started writing for Lil Wayne, this is what happened. Look, I'm going to write for you. My name is Sean Carter. You Dwayne Carter. Let's call it the Carters. Nobody will ever link these two things together. But of course, that's a pipe dream. That might not even be true. But I feel like if you ask me, Jay-Z is the kind of artist that can write for anybody. And Lil Wayne has the greatest voice ever. And you saw that come out when people would ask Jay-Z about Lil Wayne's GOAT status. Like, hey man, Jay-Z, you're pretty good, but you know Wayne is killing him. Do you think he's the greatest of all time? Jay-Z always had the same reply. Look, he's the greatest deliverer of lyrics of all time. Like his cadence, his style is the greatest of all time. Jay-Z never admitted or alluded or supported this whole concept that Lil Wayne was the greatest of all time. You notice that, right? He never did that. You know what he did? He always gave credit to his delivery. And if you don't know any better, you're just saying, hey, Jay-Z is basically saying Lil Wayne can deliver lyrics really great. But if you're me and you have insider information, you think to yourself, ha ha ha, caught you. Yeah, that's because you write that boy rhymes and you write his rhymes with the... And matter of fact, if you're writing lyrics for somebody and they go off to be the greatest of all time, or people start to say that they're the greatest of all time, even above you, like you're going to feel some resentment about that. And Jay-Z is an amazing writer, like a serious, like I don't even know, man. It's hard to quantify his ability when it comes to writing. The man wrote for Snoop Dogg, for crying out loud. So the man is just a different level of writer. And Lil Wayne being one of the greatest voices of all time, if you take, he was getting over with bars and written rhymes from like Squad Up. Like I think that whole Squad Up run, that was just Wayne using the lyrics of people like his Squad Up members. Gunna, stuff like that. So if you could take a Gunna rhyme and turn it into Squad Up, what you think you're gonna do with Jay-Z's lyrics, right? But I'll tell you this, one thing that I think Gunna and all them, his little Squad Up clique, they did better than Lil Wayne's Glow Up to the Carter. They were in the streets. So Lil Wayne's lyrics back then were just so street, whereas Jay-Z had already crossed over into the corporate side. So even though his lyrics improved, I think that Lil Wayne lost a lot of his street element when he started to use more, New York-based rappers. That's just my personal opinion. None of this is true or none of this is proven, and I want to be very clear and say I could be wrong about all of it. But I do think that it would not surprise me, I should say. It would not surprise me if every Carter album was basically just Jay-Z writing for Lil Wayne. I wouldn't be at all surprised by that. I need somebody to go find those reference tapes. But here's the thing. The reference tapes might not exist because Jay-Z doesn't write. Like, he doesn't write. And he probably, like, I don't know how, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe I'm reaching. It's probably a reach. But anyway, the album comes out and man, people are really going off on it. I saw one avid fan, and these are fans saying this, by the way. I think the fans were just mad because it did not have good beats. I did hear a couple snippets and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, if you mad about this, how the hell you mad about, how you think he the GOAT? Like, if you mad about what I heard 31 seconds of his album. I said, if you're mad about this, then how do you give any leeway to the rest of his career? Like, this is what he's always sounded like. And here's the problem with here's what Lil Wayne is not understanding. He doesn't have any substance in his raps. He's like fast food. I'm telling you, his raps are like fast food. Like, go back and try to listen to any of his older albums. It's difficult. It's very difficult because it just doesn't resonate. But in the moment, it sounds like the greatest thing of all time. But it just doesn't resonate. When you eat a Big Mac or you go to Burger King or you go to, Pizza Hut, in the moment, that food tastes amazing. But when you try to compare it to fine dining, it just doesn't compare. That's what his fans are experiencing. I mean, it's crazy. So, look, I've been trying to tell people, like, Lil Wayne is being written for. And I don't know why this is surprising. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, the man is from New Orleans. Who else? Like, go find the most lyrically inclined artist from New Orleans and listen to him or her. Lil Wayne doesn't even sound like that person. Look, I understand that someone can be from New Orleans and rap like Jay. No, it don't work like that. Like, every region has its sound. Like, when you go to Atlanta, those rappers all sound the same. When you go to Detroit, they all sound the same. Ish. When you go to Memphis, they all have that little twang. When you go to New Orleans, they all got that bounce. Like, it's all about energy. Like, y'all think it's a game. You understand? I'm a rapper, but I'm still a gorilla. Like, it's lyrical, but it's New Orleans lyrical. Why does Lil Wayne not sound like that now? Why? Because he has writers. And the thing about it is, if you listen to Lil Wayne's earlier albums, you hear that New Orleans bounce. What? Drop it like it's hot. You hear that. But like I told you, his whole style changed when he goes to New York. So anyway, that's my conspiracy for the day. And I just think it's funny. I love it. I love it because, man, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But Yeah. Carter 6 dropped on 6-6. Uh, look, but I'm gonna tell you like this though. Yeah, I think here's another really funny statistic. I think that it dropped with 14.5 million streams on day one, which is a far cry from what it used to do. It once did. I think his last one, what was the Carter 5? I think it did 66 million, and even that's a far cry from what some of the bigger artists are doing on day one. Like 100 million streams is the standard. So to have 14.5 million streams is crazy. It is really crazy, and it just shows that that gig is up, man. If Wayne was smart, he would evolve into something else. Like, nobody stays in the same arena. No one's still doing the same thing. I still think it's crazy to be rapping at the age of 50. Like, I'm telling you, man, I bet not be. I bet not be. If I'm rapping at age 50, somebody just tell me, hey, Rick, remember that clip that remember that video you did on June 8th? You know what I'm saying? Hey, you told yourself you wouldn't be rapping at 50. So go ahead, just send that to me very politely, and I'll get the hint. Send this part right here. Like, hey, Rick, you still rapping at 50? You suck, bro. Give it up. So that's that part right there. But I think that's what it is, man. His fan base has grown up. This happens to the best of them. So Wayne shouldn't really care too much. This happens to everybody. Like, you had people criticizing Janet Jackson not long ago. Like, hey, she doesn't have the mood, blah, blah, blah. Look, that's because her fan base is not them little girls in a mirror combing and spraying oil sheen all over the place. Like, her fan base has grandkids now. So it's like the same adoration is not going to be there. I told you once, I'll tell you again, favor is deceitful. Don't ever do things for the love of people, because they change. They switched up on Jesus. Like, you can't switch up on a more pure person. So at the end of the day, you just don't do stuff for people. Do it for yourself. So I hope, if nothing else, Lil Wayne released his album for him and Satan. I hope that's about as far as that goes. I hope he didn't release it for fan adoration, because that blew up in his face, right? Yeah. Man, I tell you, it is a great vibe, though. It's a great feeling in my house. So I'm like, yo, yeah, I'm glad that happened. Because Lil Wayne, man, oh, man. Man, it's hilarious. A 4 out of, somebody said a 4.5 out of 10. I was like, come on, bro, it can't be that bad. Like a 4.5 out of 10, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. But it just shows you that his fan base is no longer them little kids in high school who needs an anthem. And the kids that are in high school who need an anthem now, they're not listening for Lil Wayne, listening to hit the people that are influenced by Lil Wayne. Now, ain't that terrible when you release an album and it's panned, but, you know, those people would rather listen to the people that are influenced by you? I think it's just perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's poetic justice. Speaking of poetic justice, it makes me wonder if Pac were to release an album today, would it still resonate? Something tells me it would. Now, what's even more unfortunate is, I don't know, man. I'm not about to become Wendy Williams out here, but I will say that, man, it's unfortunate because I know that Wayne really needs this to succeed. I really believe that. I believe that every artist needs their album to succeed. And it just is what it is. Streams are not album sales. And if everyone was smart, they would band together. Every artist would band together, maybe even form a union to push back against these streaming companies. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the money from 14.5 million streams is not a lot. It's not. It's a lot for the people who are the executives of the platforms. But as far as the artists, with all the people that artists have to pay today to even get their album out, like, dude, it's just not worth it. I mean, seriously, how much did he make off 14.5 million streams? Like, seriously, I'm going to tell you right now, the number can't be well above 1 million. If that, it might not even be 1 million. So you get this check, right, for pennies on the dollar, and you got to pay the producers, you got to pay all these people. And at the end of the day, the only way you can really make your money is to go on tour. But if the album sucks and nobody, and your reputation takes a downside as a result of this album, because you have to think that if you were to go on tour right now with all this going on, the shows or the turnouts would not be that significant. So now you're losing money on tour. That's even worse than dropping a dud of an album. Trust me. So look, man, I think it's perfect. And I think it's just more incentive for Lil Wayne to go ahead and axe that deal he got with Satan and all these little people right here and come back over to our side, big dog. Come on back over to our side. You should have never left. You should have never left. And the longer you stay over there, the worse everything gonna be. Your music, your health, all that. Because you belong with us, big dog. This ain't a Lil Wayne hate video. It's a Lil Wayne comeback video. Because Lil Wayne got so much talent. He supposed to be come on, man. I ain't got to say what I got. You know what I'm trying to say. He supposed to be rocking with us. You see how happy and how healthy I look? Cause I ain't sell my soul. You see look at that glow on my skin. Look at that glow on my skin. That ain't no light. That's Jesus. You see how happy I look? Look at that. I'm healthy, man. Look, I ain't got my face ain't all puffy. I'm in shape. Look at that. Come on, man. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, but will I be listening to the Carter 6? Hell no. All right, y'all be cool, man. I'll holler at y'all.